Dalton Hopkins at Frontstretch.com, and I'm here with Kyle Weatherman and Jesse Iwuji. You two are the main drivers for Jesse Iwuji Motorsports. And Kyle, let's start with you. I interviewed Jesse back in Darlington, and he told me about how much he really enjoys having you on the team and how much you really seem to fit in. What exactly does that mean to you to have your boss essentially say that about you?
First of all, someone believed in me, right, to give me this opportunity to run this car and be a part of this team. But no, it's been a good fit from top to bottom. It really has, with the guys in the shop, to Jesse, to Edward, Matt. All these people have just been incredible to work with. It's been a fun group to work with. I think we're having fun. That's the most important thing. And we're all learning and getting better each and every week. I had an interview yesterday or last week. This is still a first year team, right? So for what they've done from the beginning to where we're at now is absolutely incredible. And the future and the goals and aspirations of what they have moving forward is huge, and I'm excited to be a part of it, hopefully.
Jesse, you picked him. What did you see in him that made you think, yeah, this guy should be the co-driver for this car this year?
Yeah, so he didn't come saying, hey, you don't want to drive. We saw that, hey, there's an opportunity there. A really good driver, someone with really good experience. For me, I'm still learning these cars. I can't sit here and say that I know anything or everything about these cars. I don't, right? He has a lot more laps than he thinks. He can tell every single nut and bolt in these cars. If something's off any bit, he knows. And for us to be able to bring someone in like that was going to be huge for our team. I've always been a huge proponent of putting someone in the car who knows exactly what they're doing, so they can let us know, hey, this is what we can change, this is how we can get better. And that's what he's done. Ever since he hopped into the seat for the first time ever back in Richmond, we just saw a complete difference in the team, and that was with our old crew. Once we got the new crew in, we have a complete different team today than we did at the beginning of the season. And once they came in, also we had his expertise, we put it all together, also started modifying the cars a little bit more. And when I say modifying, basically getting them a little bit more up to snuff, a little bit more modern. It helped out a bunch, and then all of a sudden he was able to perform at his highest caliber with the best equipment that we did have, or that we do have, and it's all paid off. I mean, we have top 10s now, top 15s, top 20s, qualified inside the top 20, top 15, top 10 in different races. I mean, we're doing everything I think we can right now for a small team in this first year. And just to think, our first employee we hired was 3 weeks prior to Daytona. And that's when we started. Like, we didn't start, last year, even though we made the announcement last year, we didn't have anything to start. But then, with the buy-in from Emmett investing in this team, me and our other owners also investing in this team and doing what we could to get everything going, us partnering up with the brands that we have now, Equity Prime Mortgage, Coca-Cola, Chevrolet, all those folks pitched in, jumped in, and were like, hey, we're going to help you get from the ground up and start building this team up. And everybody knew that this was not going to be a sprint, that it was going to be a marathon. It's all about slowly building it up, putting the parts and pieces, the people, everything together, and that's what we've done. And in order to make these cars better, in order to make the program better, you have to have the right people behind it. And I think we've assembled, honestly, the Avengers to get this thing going in the right direction.
Let's go into a more personal note, the racing bug. Kyle, how did you first get it? Something about a go-kart shop, something like that?
Yeah, I started when I was 8 years old, and we just initially were going to look at a go-kart, just to look, right, honestly, and then that day we left with 2 go-karts for myself and my brother, so it started off as just a hobby to kind of do on the weekends with my brother, dad, and just something kind of fun to do on the weekends, and then realized that this is something that we could really turn into a profession. And I'd say by 10, 11, 12 years old is when the light switch changed, and I kind of went from having fun with it, still am, but to really just putting dedication from when I get up in the morning to when I go to sleep at night.
And Jesse, on your side of things, a little bit different, and it happened a little bit later, it seems.
Yeah. Most drivers like him, they start when they're younger, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. For me, I didn't hop into a race car for the first time until I was 26, 27 years old. So I was way behind the curve. And with that comes its challenges. Obviously, I'm 20 years behind on of experience, knowing these race cars, all that stuff. So since then, I've been climbing to just try to figure that out, and just to even have the opportunity to even step on track and even just be able to drive out there with them, one, is a win for me. But then two, anytime I outrun anybody, for me, it's like, good, you know, like, because I mean, they have more experience than me. So for me, it's just continuing to learn. I learned a lot from him, watching him, listening to him on the radio, even just his communication with the crew chief. I've learned so much this year just listening to him and how he gives feedback. For me, feedback, like, you know, in the prior years, I would barely give any, right? That's not good for the crew chief. He doesn't know what he needs to adjust. Listening to him, I'm like, oh wow, this is what I need to talk about. This is the kind of feedback the crew chief needs, and that's helped me out a lot this year, just kind of learning how to be a little bit better on the communication side of things. But yeah, when my first time even jumping into racing, period, I was doing like track days with my Corvette, going to like road course track days. Had a lot of fun doing that. After about 2 years of that, finally decided I want to jump into a real life race car. I decided to jump into a late model, and then that's basically kind of how I kicked everything off. And it's funny because two of the people racing here at Talladega this weekend actually were racing late models that year too for their first time. Riley Herbst and Blaine Perkins. So it's kind of interesting to see that we're all kind of at this level now, racing against each other still. Yeah, it's just kind of cool to kind of see where everyone's kind of where their journeys have gone. Everybody has a different path. Motorsports is different than any other sport. In football, basketball, you high school, college, and you get to pros. There is no middle school or high school racing. You could jump into it at a high level, or you can start at go-karts, wherever. But wherever you do start, the biggest thing is just get as much seat time as possible, get as good as you can, figure out the business side of it too as well, because that's a big part of actually continuing to progress and build a career out of it.
Kyle, so let's go back to your early days as a racing career on a national circuit, 50 ARCA starts, and then you made your first Truck Series start in 2015, up in the national level. What was that like in that moment? How did you get that? When did you get that call? And were you nervous, excited, both?
Yeah, both, right? I mean, but at the end of the day, from when I was 8 years old till when I made that first start, right, that's what my goals and aspirations were to do, right? So to finally check that box and just be a part of one of the 3 top series of motorsports was huge for my career, personally, mentally, just everything, right? Even if it was just that one, right? But very, very cool day to do that. And then kind of look back at where we've been from there on has been really cool as well. So this is just the beginning as well. So and just very thankful for everyone that's been a part of my career so far. And once again, like I said, there's big things to come.
Do you remember when you got the call for that ride? What was that like?
So my first truck ride was actually with Lyra Motorsports. And I was driving their ARCA car, their ARCA car for a handful of races there, and they actually ended up starting a two truck series team towards the end of the year, and I was on the list to make it and was there. So just capitalizing on an opportunity, and I think that's huge in this industry, in this sport, is positioning yourself right place, right time, and when that opportunity arises, you've got to capitalize on it, right? It's a performance-based sport, and when that opportunity is there, you've got to make it happen.
Now let's talk about the call for this team. So, how did you two meet? When did you first get in contact with him, and when did they first offer you that ride? What was your emotion with that?
Yeah, I mean, it went from a high, to a low to a high, right? I guess in a sense, right? I had 5 races with Mario Goslin, and kind of knew that going into it, and unless marketing dollars were going to be any better than what was already brought up, right? So the 5th race was at Atlanta Motorspedway. We finished 8th, right? So it went from a high to a low to a high, and that's exactly how this industry is, and this motorsport industry is, right? So unfortunately or fortunately, I've been a part of a lot of highs and lows through my career, so I was, I guess, mentally prepared for it in a sense and in a way. But I just very, very thankful for the opportunity, right? And blessed for the opportunity. This is a very, very good team to be a part of from top to bottom. And every person that they have working here is awesome to work with and fun to work with, and they're all driven, and that's the best part, right? Is they're just all driven, and they've all got goals set, years in advance, right? And just to see the vision and the goal of what this team can and will have, to be a part of it is just incredible. And I'm a very driven person in my future and my goals of what I want, and they know my goals and aspirations, and we're all building around everything, right? And it's just going to be incredible to see it kind of all fall together, place together, and it's once again just the first year, and there's a lot more to come.
Have you talked to Emmett Smith at all?
One time I met him at Texas. This was about 3 months ago. I want to meet him more. Just an incredible person to be around, right? Just from, once again, like I said, the drive that he has and the accomplishments that he has, and the motivation, and just when you look at him, speak to him, just the encouragement and the drive that he gives for just being a part of the team, right? And it's just an awesome person to be around, an awesome owner to drive for, and it's very cool to have someone like that on our side.
Outrun Emmett even today.
I know I can. I know I can. I'm just gonna say it now. I know I cannot outrun Emmett Smith.
You know what? So I actually went back and watched some college highlights of, actually not college highlights, I'm sorry. I went back and read some things on his pro day when he ran the pro day right before he got drafted. And I think his 40 time was somewhere in the mid 4.4s or something like that. And I looked at it, whatever his time was, it was like identical to my best 40 times. So I was like, interesting, okay. So we would have been like neck and neck, you know. And I think him his senior year in college, me my senior year in college, if we went like just neck and neck race, we would have been right there.
So let's talk about the relationship that you have with this team, not with each other, but more about the team. It just this is the most competitive you've been, it appears, in your career, at least in the NASCAR career, on the NASCAR side of things. Do you feel like you're here for the long term? I mean, is this a place where you feel like you can maybe settle down?
Absolutely, and that's definitely kind of what I hope and dream, right? But for them to give me the opportunity, very, very thankful for, right? And I feel like it's just been a good mesh from what I've been able to bring to what they've been able to bring to me. It's been very good, but we're still working on the sponsorship side of things and the marketing dollars, which is obviously the struggle in this sport, in this industry, right? But there's very good people surrounding Jesse included, right? I mean, he's amazing at the social side, the marketing side, and just speaking in general, right? So to have, once again, I feel like we have all the parts and pieces and puzzle pieces that we can fit. Just aligning them in the right order and positioning is what's going to be very important. And starting now, off season and stuff like that, to make all this stuff happen. But I know all the puzzle pieces are here. We just got to align them and make it happen.
I talked to you, Jesse, at Darlington, and you mentioned the idea of possibly you wanting to do a second team, wanting to open up the second team. Let's say you get that marketing money that you need, the sponsorship money that you need, you open up that second team. Is Kyle the first one in that car?
Yeah, most definitely. Like, hands down, no questions asked. Yeah. So, right now the goal is to get a 2-car team going for next year. That's what we're working towards. Obviously, it costs more money, right? We've been fortunate enough just to even put a 1-car team together, let alone to go, grab the extra cars, grab the extra equipment. Probably need some extra people too as well. All that stuff, but it all costs money. So putting together the right money to make that happen is great. We've had other people reaching out too as well to come run with us, and there's some opportunities there. But Kyle, he's here with us for a long run. I want him to be here for a long run. So somehow, some way, we're gonna figure out how to run. Both of us run. I can't run every single race because I still have my Navy commitments to do. But Kyle has done really well filling in all those gaps, and then also running on weekends that I don't have anything going on, just the racing stuff. He still fills in the gaps and does really well for us. So definitely, he has a great future here. I would love to figure it out in a way where he can just run a car full time. Obviously, once again, we just got to keep figuring out ways to bring in all the right brand partners, and the more we do that, the more that we can really provide these opportunities. So this team is an opportunity generating system, right? And it's all about creating opportunities for people. No matter what you look like, where you come from, doesn't matter. We're looking to continue to grow this sport in different ways, bring new eyeballs to this sport, grow what we have going on, and also utilize our platform to support our partners, Equity Prime Mortgage, Coca-Cola, Chevrolet, and all the other folks who will come on board in the future. Our future is bright. I think there's going to be a lot of great partners coming in the future. There's people we're talking to right now who are looking at this team really hard and looking at, hey, is this where we want to align ourselves? There's a lot of things we do, not only on track but off track. I think supporting your partners isn't straight up only an on-track thing. There's stuff you got to do off-track to make sure you're supporting their marketing initiatives, their ideals, so that they can be pushed properly and they can get a good return on their investment.
Kyle, whether that second team occurs next year or not, that's got to put a great feel-good emotion in your head, right? I mean, that's got to make you feel really confident about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it does, right? I mean, to know that there's potential there, we just gotta, once again, align everything and make it happen, right? And as Jesse said, we've got a lot of partners that are very interested in stuff like that, and I feel like we've got a really, really good group of people that can make it happen, right? So just blessed to be a part of it, right? I know I keep on saying that, but there's a lot of good things happening in works, and once again, we've got a really good group of people that can make this stuff happen, and I'm here as well, and willing to make whatever opportunity comes, ready to go for it.
Since I've got you both here, how has this first year being a part of this team, the startup team, how much have you grown as a race car driver, or as a leader, per se?
A lot, honestly, right? I mean, there's a lot of leaders on this team, right? And see what they bring to the table has just upped my game as well, right? So I've grown a lot in the past, 3-4 months, honestly. Just overlooking Jesse's shoulder or anybody, right? A part of this team. We've got a lot of people on this organization that are leaders and have been for a long time, right? So to look over their shoulder and learn from them has just made me as a person, I even outside of racing, a better man, a better person, right? So I know it sounds a little cheesy, but no, for real, like honestly, just being a part of everybody that's in this organization is just really, really cool. I think I've learned a lot, and I think they don't even really know that they're impacting me in ways and aspects of like that. So it's really cool to be part of it.
For me, at least on just kind of the ownership side, I've really learned how to delegate and allow people and empower people to do their job, right? I have other businesses outside of racing. I'm in the real estate investing business. I have a trucking company. I have an esports business. I have a lot of other things, a few apps, a bunch of things going on. And in every single business I've been in, I've kind of been like the hard charger of just basically doing everything. And I've not really dealt with a lot of folks who have worked on the team together, right? It's kind of, besides in the Navy I've done that, but outside of it in the civilian world I've kind of done everything. So to come to this team now and actually have a group of people and a great team of people who are self-starters, who can actually go out there and execute on the mission and plan. We plant the vision, everybody knows exactly what the guidelines are and where we need to go, and then from there they go out and they execute on the mission. I mean, this team is very much kind of very military minded, and I think it's because of the people we have in place. We have a lot of great people who work very hard. Our director of operations, Edward over here, does an amazing job, rallying the troops together week after week after week. I mean, this season it's a grind, right? It's not easy at all. Not too many people can sit here and go on a road every single week for 30-something weeks. I mean, that's very difficult. A lot of people, they go out for 1 week and all of a sudden they're crying and they gotta go home. Like this team, we're very much mission oriented. We know where we want to go, what we want to do, and we go execute it. We have highs, we have lows, we have good days, we have bad days. Sometimes we'll go to the track, something might break. Sometimes we go to the track, maybe I don't do so well. We go to the track, maybe I do well. We go to the track, Kyle does well pretty much all the time. So it doesn't matter. We just go out there and we execute as much as possible. We learn from the goods and we learn from the bads, and then we apply it. We apply the learnings to the next week, and we try to make things even better.
And finally, a couple fun questions for y'all. Kyle, did the Weather Channel ever reach out at all?
Man, I'm trying, but Weather Channel, if you see this, we're waiting. But no, it's for real. I mean, that'd be perfect, right? I mean, literally. So
they're busy right now with the hurricane.
Yeah, they're a little busy right now.
But no, I mean, I actually did get a couple responses and stuff like that. Maybe we can make something happen. Who knows? But I think it's a good fit with the last name and stuff like that. But if I had $1 for any time someone brought up I should be a weatherman / some type of Weather Channel type situation, I'd be a millionaire. But no, it would be a good fit, I think, for sure.
And Jesse, you obviously trust him in your race car. Do you trust him in the beat up vet?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. I want to get him in the drift car. I want to teach him how to drift. As a race car driver, all race car drivers have good car control, right? Drifting's a little bit different in some ways, where you got to learn to not just put it on the edge, but really, really have it on the edge. It's a little tough to kind of get used to at first, but I think he'd pick it up. It wouldn't take him too long, and he'd be doing it pretty good after a while.
Control the out of control.
Yes.
We're talking about. We're trying to make after Phoenix work. So we're working on that. We're working on that now.
Get on the drift car. I think it'll be super fun.
All right, we're looking forward to it. I thank you both for being on here, and good luck to you.
This is Timmy Hill, driver of the 56 Toyota. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also check out one of those videos beside me and visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.